stats and everything as you can see on the screen. We have a slew of stats. How does the balance process work for weapon types? So for melee, how do you determine what makes this weapon balanced and what makes it unique?
Yeah, so across the process, we have all sorts of fantasies we want to support as an RPG. Range, melee, talkie-talk players, as we affectionately call them, stealth. And so as part of that process, we look at these weapons as we're designing and say, okay, who is our target for these, and how are they going to use it? Some of that is working with Rob to make how's the gameplay is going to feel in combat and what role this is going to do. And then stepping back from there and adjusting numbers to make sure that it's fitting that role. It's not getting too far into eclipsing other weapons that aren't in this role. Like making sure this is the best melee one-handed weapon or melee two-handed weapon in the game, so that you never have to use anything else. But making sure that when that melee player does want a ranged weapon, that's what this is for, and it's filling that niche.
So how does one of our base weapons, like we said before, it's moddable, but it's not unique, it's not crazy, it didn't come from some fever dream one of the designers had. It's really just kind of a workaday weapon for a strange faction, strange to us. And developing it meant, from the combat team, we could get a weapon which filled in a nice role between long range and short range. Maybe we could give it elemental damage, which plays into some of the skills, the RPG checks, and Kyle could go and sort of figure out, like, okay, how do we want it to behave? Some ammo considerations there as well. And then we get this thing back. This thing looks dope as hell to me. And if you watch the anime in real time, it's spinning around, it's doing all this cool stuff. And for somebody who like came up with an idea for a beam, our whole team was like, oh, this is working. Like, this feels like Outer Worlds. This feels like I get what this gun is doing. To sort of answer your earlier question, like how you teach a player what it's going to do when you pull the trigger and click the mouse. And then I got inspired and I was like, well, you decide against the OA. If you don't like the Order of the Ascendant, you kind of try and fight them. So what if one of these guys has a spin? What if there's an entire class of human combatants that can wield this and use it against you? How would that feel? We get some VFX on it, right? And we start to noodle around with it, and it is a really collaborative experience. And there are some days where it's just like really fun to go to work, and we should always do it.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me fast forward to the end of the slide. Again, the board would like to remind you all that the partnership with 5 Hour Energy, you can actually experience the flavors of Purpleberry Punch and Mothmelon Brew, which will be coming out later in November, over here on the PAX West floor at booth 838. Purpleberry Punch is available now. You can get it at Walmart and other locations. You can also get more information at the 5EG.com, 5 Hour Energy website. And also, but yeah, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out to the panel. The Outer Worlds 2 will be launching on October 29th on Xbox Game Pass, found at PlayStation 5 and Steam. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. And if you guys want to stick around, I would like to get a selfie with the devs here with all you in the background, if you guys don't mind.
Just real quick, that grew, cyst, that were edible, because why not? Oh, there it is. That is, again, delicious. The Cysty Pig is a character that we really linked to Auntie Cleo in the first game, now Auntie's Choice in the second game. And when it came to this weapon, are we able to go back to the professor?
You got it? Oh, awesome.
Thank you. That's magic. We got this design, and I immediately got taken back as a little kid in my grandmother's kitchen, where she had this like old meat grinder contraption. You put the meat inside of it and you grind it away. It was so old and looking, this device. And I had that image the moment I got this design, and I was saying like, what if we can see how the sausage is made? Literally. And it is pure Auntie's Choice. It is grotesque, but it's also just I think it's kind of cool. And it's like this weird twisted beauty that is that faction.
How does this design is in line with Auntie's Choice parameters? Deep questions.
mean,
She's very experimental.
she's very experimental. She does not mind experimenting on creatures. Do not mind experimenting on people. But in the name of profit and making sure like everything is used fully to I don't know, it's grotesque. I don't know.
So you went to a store and you saw this on sale on display, you would instantly buy it.
Absolutely.
To share with people who are the Order of the Ascent.
Right. So you have the Protectorate. They are the authority of the Arcadia colony. The Order of the Ascendant is their, or at least once was, their religious wing. So where you have the government structure, this is the religious structure. And when I say religious, we're talking about scientific methodology here. They are number crunchers. They are people who love to collect data and look at the cosmos and just kind of plan everything out. So they are precise. They are basically the science of our calling. And when you're looking at the weapons here on the Order set on the Casper, they're not worried about the look, the frills of it. They are making sure like this thing is set up to be a precision weapon. They have excellent cable management, and as you can see there, this thing is some plasma damage.
I wish I didn't have that skill of cable management. It's a nightmare. And then, so I guess, yes, the Protectorate is very sleek and simple, where this seems a little more mechanical, technical, and even maybe more elaborate. How does that kind of go in line with the Ascendant's ethos?
Well, it's going back to they're not worried about how do they look? How was the flare? They're worried about the science of it. They want to make sure that this thing just works. So when we designed these weapons and we designed how the order look, we almost took the idea of what if we took off the outer casing? And this is the feeling of it.
Very nice. All right, let's take a look at the Plasma Beam Caster in action. Again, a quick question for you, Kyle. So we had a melee weapon, we had a launcher weapon, and now we have a plasma weapon. How do you determine, statistically wise, when all these stats here on the screen, of how to make each weapon feel unique from one another, including the factions?
Yeah, so we have multiple damage types in the game, and each damage type is associated with one of the factions. We saw Protector uses a lot of shock, which relates back to they utilize a lot of automechs and the themes line there. The Order of the Ascendant is all about plasma, and so a lot of their weaponry uses this plasma damage, which lights enemies on fires and deals more damage over time. And aligns with this weapon where you're from afar slowly ticking